long-term arc of like CrossFit? Like what are your goals in the sport?
Definitely to make it to the games. I had a hard time saying that when I first started, but I feel like you got to say it if you want it. So now I feel like you like have to almost say it out loud. So definitely the games.
Why'd you have a hard time saying that at first?
I was really bad at CrossFit, so I thought people would judge me if I would. It was like
like
you
here's
say
another
it.
kid saying
yeah,
they
like,
want to
oh,
qualify.
here we go again. Like I wouldn't say it. Like I couldn't say it. But yeah, so that's definitely the goal now. Games.
Miss Riley.
Same. And I also have a really hard time saying
You gotta say it.
It is just, it's like, I don't know, because
It's scary.
it's scary, and it's like a kid being like, oh, I want to, like, play in the NFL. Like, it's just, like, we know how slim your odds are, and, like, you can work so hard, and, like, still it just doesn't
fall
work
short.
out for you. Yeah. And so there's a lot of reasons why it's scary to say.
Uh-huh.
It can feel embarrassing. It can feel, yeah, but that's definitely the goal.
Mm-hmm. The fitness movement is brought to you by Zor Fitness. We offer coaching and individualized program design, as well as educational content for coaches and athletes. It's all at one place, zorfitness.com.
Me, mama, anyway you feel.
That might go in.
I don't want my singing.
Too bad. Cameras are rolling. Guys in your black shirts.
You're in a
Matching
black shirt too.
Yeah, but I'm always in a black shirt.
Black is the way to go.
Yeah, because I sweat and then you don't see it. I usually just like sit in here and see what you guys have to say first.
Oh, no, we
Before I
get
ask
nervous, you know?
Just really let the awkwardness marinate a bit.
Yeah, let's start.
It's marinating. It's good.
Was this the first time in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Kind of reminds me of back home. Small town vibes, but it's good.
Where's home?
Southern Illinois. So, yeah.
Southern Illinois is, no.
Huh.
I hate Illinois.
Is that where you guys visited?
Yeah, when she came to visit me at home, yeah. It's a lot different than Salt Lake, but...
Yeah, which is where you live now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Utah. Mm-hmm. So, the way you're speaking, it sounds like you like that a little better.
I do. It's a lot better. I like having options, and I don't like living 30 minutes away from everything.
I was just going to say there's like more stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I do it, but it's there if I want to. It's there.
That is so true. Like, that's like when I lived in Harrisburg, there was like so much more to do, and I was like, wow, but we never really did.
We never did anything.
We drove through Harrisburg though, and she was not impressed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what part of Harrisburg did you drive through?
Not the cute part.
Yeah, you probably came up 81.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not great. Yeah. So, how'd you meet Riley?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think we were friends on Instagram first.
Classic.
Talked through social media, and then we did a comp together. And then...
That's when you met? You did a comp together?
Mm-hmm.
The pit, yeah.
The pit.
That's when we first
That's
met.
team?
Teen?
Or team? Like you guys were on a team?
No, it was
Individual.
Oh, you
us.
just met.
Yeah.
You were each competing individually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're competing against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Who beat who? You won.
But like not much. It came down to like
I
a
was like
strict
second to
handshake.
last.
No, you weren't.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Uh-uh.
And Riley was third from last.
You got 8th. Wait, but actually, I don't remember.
I don't remember. She beat me, though.
I did beat her.
Can do legless rope climbs.
But it came down to like the last workout. We were like close the whole time.
Yeah, we were. I don't even remember what the last workout was. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's a good time, though.
so fit.
We were so fit. We've come a long way.
Do you feel like you're the type of people who just like talk to people at competitions and like make friends?
Okay, yes, I used to be. I don't think I'm as much anymore, but I still definitely am more of a type.
Were you doing that at semifinals?
No.
Yeah. A little bit different vibe.
Little bit
probably.
different vibe.
Yeah.
But like when I was younger, for sure, I talked to like everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riley?
No, I don't. I've never been like that. You were like crazy.
I make
She's,
I'm yeah.
Miss Social,
I know.
but no, I was never like that.
Yeah. I'm very much not like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm just kind of like trying to do my thing, and like it takes energy for me to talk to new people. So it's like I don't want to spend that energy at a comp.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the extent of me talking to people is usually like, hey, can I bar this bar in the warm-up area because, like, they don't have enough.
Yeah. You have to share.
Yeah, you have to share, so you got to make friends.
Yeah.
What was fitness for you like growing up, Davis?
Oh, a little bit of everything. Never had a certain sport, I guess I did. I bounced around. I didn't get into, like, fitness until I was, like, high school. So, yeah.
Like traditional fitness, like going to a gym or like a CrossFit
Like
gym,
sports,
or just like sports?
and, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of started high school for me.
You play any sports in high school?
Yeah, I did, like, wrestling, football, dance, cross-country track, but, like, nothing for more than a year. I was like, did something, switched, did something, switched. It's fun. Good times. Never really got good at anything, though.
Yeah. But that's probably a helpful background for CrossFit.
Yeah, because then you can, like, do a little bit of everything, you know? That's what makes CrossFit fun, though, because then you have more options, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is that what drew it to you? Like, is that how you ended up in CrossFit? Or just because, like, did you end up going to a gym because, like, you felt like you wanted to stay in shape, or was it more so, like, you wanted to compete and, like, saw all those different avenues?
I went for to lose weight to start, actually, and then I didn't know what to do. So I didn't think of it as a sport at first. I just thought it was, like, a weight loss thing, and then I found out that you could do it as a sport, and I liked it more than, like, high school sports, so.
When did you start CrossFit?
I think I'm coming up on, like, 4 years now.
Was that Salt Lake, or was that back home?
Back home. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you said you wanted to lose weight. Were you, like looking back, do you feel like you were actually out of shape, or, like?
I was out of shape for sure, but I don't think I was, like, as bad as I thought. Like, in the moment, I definitely thought it was worse.
Yeah, you feel like the sky's falling and, like, you wanted to get it fixed sort of thing, but, like, in hindsight, maybe it wasn't, like, that bad.
As bad. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Because, like, Riley, when you started, you said that, like, I don't really know where it came from. You, like, did you feel like you were trying to get, because you were, like, mid-teen at that point.
I was, like, bored. Like, I had quit cross country.
Yeah. You weren't, like, playing traditional sports.
What?
You weren't playing traditional sports.
No, like, I never, like, I always wanted something, but I never, like, I don't know, found something that I was, like, good at or really liked. And then I have a family friend who did CrossFit, so she just randomly was like, come along with me. And
it was more like a hobby to, like, stay in shape sort of thing?
Yeah, just because I was, like, bored. And we talked about it a little bit. Like, I started lifting with my brother, and I, like, gained weight, and then I got worse at cross country.
Yep.
And then I was like, I'm over this, so.
Yeah. That's a little different than, like, a lot of people who, like, maybe walk in our doors who are, like, I haven't done anything for 15 years, and I'm, like, my doctor says if I don't change this, I'm going to have to go on all these medications or something. So, like, here I am sort of thing. It's different than that situation. So, and both of you are pretty young still. Dave's, how old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
20.
Okay, so you guys are the same age.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense you're competing against each other at the team comp.
Mm-hmm.
So you went to semifinals this year.
I did.
Yeah. North America West.
Mm-hmm.
Much easier. That's going to be our excuse.
So valid.
Yeah, but so I coach Riley. I don't coach you.
Mm-hmm.
Just, full disclosure. But what was that experience like for you?
It was crazy. It was really, like, I don't know. It was unexpected. I wasn't ready for it, that's for sure. So, like, I didn't think I was going to go. So when I qualified, I was just like, I don't know. It was just like, take it in kind of, but it was really cool. You get there, when you're done, I think that was the weirdest part, is it was, like, done. Like, it was so fast. 3 days, just done. And it was like, wow. Like, I've been working so hard towards that, and then it's, like, over.
Yeah.
So that was weird. But
yeah, which is how most, like, every competition goes, even if it's a longer competition, which on the CrossFit side of things, besides, like, the games, like, you're probably not going to get more than 3 days of a shot, so.
Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. It's, like, 4-year build-up done in 3 days. It was just, and then you're like, whoa. So it was just over fast, but it was good.
Luckily, it's not an Olympic sport where you get to at least compete every year.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
That
would be every 4 years. That would suck. Like, build up.
Like, that's what people do, though. They, like, train for the whole quad, and then they miss by, like, a kilo.
Yeah.
And
I can't imagine that.
That'd be awful.
That would be awful.
It would also just be brutal that going that long in training and, they still compete in other things, but, like, not really having it be, like, the highlight of your,
Not
like,
what you're
your
training
goal of your
for.
career, not what you're exclusively training for. So, yeah. So it sounded like you didn't have, like, a lot of expectations, like, when you were doing, like, quarterfinal workouts.
No, I actually almost didn't even set up, like, any videos. Is that so dumb? Like, my first one, Like, I remember being like, oh, there's no point in me videoing it. What's the point? And then someone was like, just do it anyways. And, yeah. And then I saw the first day, because you submitted the first 2 workouts, and I was like 20 outside the bubble, and then I was like, panic. And then I went in the bubble, and then I was like, more panic. And then it was just the last workout, and I was like, and I think I was like 60th. So, like, I was literally the last spot. But I did not. So, yeah, almost didn't video it. Can you imagine if I just didn't video it?
You would have, yeah. That's.
I mean, to be honest, that sort of thing happens a lot where the person's like, I don't feel like climbing up this rope with this tape measure right now to measure my 15-foot rope. And they're getting an invalidated video, and they would have made it otherwise. And it's like, man, that's rough.
If you would have just done it, like, just do it right.
Yeah.
I've learned that. And that's why I think going into this next year is what I want, is, like, just, like, full confidence in myself, no matter what happens. Like, set up with the expectation of, like, making it again. And just, like, yeah.
Yeah, and do you feel like qualifying just, like, gives you a lot more confidence, like, for the next year?
Definitely does.
Yeah.
It's, like, more stress now. Cause,
right.
like,
expectations.
Yeah, more expectations. But, yeah, it's just, it does give you more confidence as well. Like, you're on the right path, I guess, kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, you can each answer this, but, like, Davis, we'll start with you. Like, long-term arc of, like, CrossFit, like, what are your goals in the sport?
Definitely to make it to the games. I had a hard time saying that when I first started, but I feel like you got to say it if you want it. So now I feel like you, like, have to almost say it out loud. So definitely the games would be cool.
Mm-hmm. Why'd you have a hard time saying that at first?
I was really bad at CrossFit, so I thought people would judge me if I would. It was like,
like here's another kid saying
I was like,
they wanna
oh,
qualify.
here we go again. Like, I wouldn't say it. Like, I remember I was with, like, brute strength for a bit, and I had a coach, and he was like, we had a call, and he was like, what do you want out of this? And I was like, I couldn't say it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you need to find an answer. And I was like, okay. But, yeah, so that's definitely the goal now, games.
Miss Riley?
Same. And I also have a really hard time saying
You gotta say it.
It is just, it's like, I don't know, because
It's scary.
it's scary, and it's like a kid being like, oh, I want to, like, play in the NFL. Like, it's just, like, we know how slim, like,
Yeah.
your odds are, and, like, you can work so hard, and, like, still it just doesn't
Fall
work out
short.
for you. Yeah. And so there's a lot of reasons why it's scary to say.
Uh-huh.
It can feel embarrassing. It can feel, yeah, but that's definitely the goal, and
Do you feel like, not like your coaches or like other competitors who are like around your guys' level, do you feel like just like, you know, friends that, again, aren't as in touch with like CrossFit and like people at the gym who are like just more like GBP, like, do they get it? Do they like understand what you guys are trying to do?
No, I don't think. My gym at least. There's people in my gym that do get it, but like an average class goer doesn't get it.
same.
Yeah. So, and what I mean by that, I'm not, I should be more specific. Like, I felt this personally as a competitor where it's like, you know, you finish 99th place in the Open and people are like, you are amazing. Like, why don't you have all these sponsors and all this stuff?
Uh-huh.
And like, it's like, I just see it as like when you zoom into that top 1%, it's like, I'm like, oh, I have so much further to go. And like the further I get up on this list, I start recognizing a lot more of the names. And that is scary.
Yeah.
So like, that's sort of what I mean by like, I feel like a lot of people don't really understand like what's actually required and like how much of a gap, even from going from like within the top 1%, which you guys both are, to getting to the point where like you're getting a games berth. It's like that's still a long way to go, which is kind of what you guys are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's how like semis felt like. Oh, like you made it something you're working so hard for, but even that is like still so far away. Like I made it, but like the next gap up to the games is like still crazy far.
Right. Everyone around you super stoked that you made it to the semifinal,
stoked.
And then you realize that like of the semifinal, like there's like I'm way down in the pack, and in order to climb that, like I just know how much work that's going to take and like what that's actually requiring, because everyone else is also trying to do that at that level.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're all also trying to be better than they were last year, and that's a tough place to be at times.
Yeah.
Is that something you don't really try to rely on? Like you don't like try to think about like that too much, or is it more just like trying to improve your own performance, or is it more of a like do you think about like what other people are doing?
I think You go first. What do you think?
I don't know. Personally, I don't think it really, like, helps me a ton to think about all the, like, logistics of it, like, how far, like, I don't know. I think for me, it just helps to take it day by day and, like, do what I can and, like, work as hard as I can and do what I need to do. I don't think, like, dwelling on all of it, like, helps me personally. But
yeah, I agree with that. I think when I first started CrossFit, like, competitively, I was really good at, like, not caring about what everyone does, like, at all. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do me. I think this last year I've gotten, like, a little bad, like, oh, so-and-so's doing this, like, so-and-so. And so I've really tried to, like, pull back from that again, like, get back to, because it really doesn't matter what anyone else is doing, it just matters what you're doing. But you get in that, like, spot sometimes where you're, like, like, that headspace, but.
Yeah, and I think throughout most of the year, if you're not immediately looking to compete in the future, like the next couple of weeks, it's a lot easier to, like, stay in your lane and just kind of focus on what you're doing. And then I feel like competition, like, pulls people out of that to a degree where it's like you see everybody who's, like, the open comes around and all of a sudden they're like, well, I'm not going to redo any of the workouts. And then it's like they redo every workout.
Yeah.
Just because, like, they, like, ego-wise, it's like, oh, now I'm getting compared to everybody. And, like, that's super stressful because now, like, my whole season of work is, like, on the line, so to speak. So, no, but I think if you guys do what you're exactly like you're doing and, you know, just try to focus on what you can control, like, that's really all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you can hope for. So, what do you guys do right now to pay the bills?
like, work-wise, is that what you're
Yeah.
asking?
Yeah, quite literally. Like, what do you do to pay for the stuff that you need to survive on this planet?
So I worked at a restaurant for the past, like, a little over a year, and I literally quit yesterday.
Nice job.
Thank you.
On to the next.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're figuring it out, but it was just not working well anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Don't know what I'm going to do, but.
Yeah, but that gives people an idea of, like, kind of what you're navigating day to day is, like,
Yeah.
you're working, waitressing job.
Yeah.
Davis?
I stretch people. It's kind of weird to say. It's called Stretch Lab, and you actually, like, stretch people. So, like, kind of like physical therapy, but, like, just stretching aspect of it, kind of. And then I coach as well, CrossFit.
Yeah, is that like its own facility? Is that part of a CrossFit gym?
Own facility. It's, like, completely separate from CrossFit.
Is that exclusively what they do?
Yep. It's just stretching. Yeah.
Cool. Is that certain hours that you get, like, by appointment? Is that...
It's client-based, but usually it fills up pretty fast. So it's kind of like you just put your own schedule in.
Yeah.
People schedule
you, like,
in your
make
schedule.
a block?
Make
Okay.
a block, whatever split you want.
Yeah. About how many hours a week do you do that?
Probably 30, 25, 30.
Okay, so a lot. How much do you coach?
Like 2 to 3 classes a week.
Okay,
Just, like,
so
super
really
little.
light there.
Yeah. I used to coach a lot, and then I think it just too much in the gym. So I like just tiny taste of it, get your fill for, like, coaching. And
I would
then,
guess energy output for the stretching side of things is a whole lot less than the CrossFit coaching.
yes and no, because, like, I'm physically pushing on people, but I don't need as much, like, high energy, like, hype, if that makes sense.
I guess that's what I meant. It was,
Yeah,
like, not
so,
so
yeah.
much, like, physical output as, like, emotional
for sure.
bandwidth.
Yeah. It's definitely better on the emotional side.
And it's actually funny because, like, we were talking about that with the waitressing. Riley was like, if like, you only have so much energy to expend, and you don't want to be doing that on people who are just being, you know, cranky and rude for the sake of doing it.
People are so mean in, like,
So
customer
mean.
service.
Like,
Yeah.
and my battery for it is just gone. Like, it's,
And then
it's
you're up walking and moving.
Yeah, it actually is, like, physically, I don't know. It seems like it wouldn't be, but, like, we have an outside and an inside, so you're running up and down all the time. And then you're, like, running to different tables, and, like, you go, like, 5-6 hours without eating food.
And then I have, like, a customer service voice. I'm like,
Yeah.
hi, kind of thing.
And see, that, like, ran out. So, like, I'm, like, bad in customer service. It was, like, time to be done, but...
Yeah. I mean, but that's, like, so for each of you, it wasn't like you had, like, a 9 to 5 where you're, like, trying to smash training on the ends of that. Although you are, Davis, you're there quite a bit. So it's definitely, like, you have to put in your hours because that's how you're getting paid. But at the same time, it's like, how can you, it becomes like this game of, like, how can you fit all the training that you need to do around, like, the way that you actually make money, and then, like, basically trying to work enough where you're making a decent income, but then giving everything that you have basically that's left to training.
Yeah, it's a hard balance, that's for sure.
How do you guys think about that? Like, is that something where you're like just trying to like scrape by in terms of income, if you're being honest, so that you can pursue CrossFit? Or is it like, do you try to make a little extra money so that you can like afford things like, massage, PT, like that kind of stuff? Where do you land?
Well, she has it a little bit harder because she's living on her own. I'm still living with my parents, so I feel like there's a little bit. And you're living in Salt Lake, which is like a more expensive area. Just in general, I feel like you have it a little tougher.
So the bills rack up, that's for sure. I like to have money to like spend, and like I don't like to worry.
It's a stressor.
Yeah, it's definitely a stressor, but I would say it's more towards the scrape by side than anything. But I like to like make sure like I go out with my friends, or get body work appointments, like get physical therapy appointments. So make sure you have enough, but it's not like you're really putting that much toward savings. Just enough to like have it there. So kind of somewhere in the between.
Does that feel like it's something that like you're doing intentionally, or is that just sort of like a result of where you're at right now?
Probably intentionally, because I just like more if I want more money, I'm gonna have to work more hours, and I just don't have it in me. Like if I want to like put it towards training, I'd rather put it towards training. So
you want to chime in at all, Riley? How do you think about it?
It's definitely a hard balance to find, because I feel like for me, like if I overwork myself, it's not beneficial in training, in work, like in anything. So it's definitely hard, because I'm the same way. I don't want to worry, and I want to be able to like go out and get food with my friends if I want to, or like so I don't know.
And it's also stressful if like you don't have anything in your account. You're like, oh my gosh, like that's not a helpful place to be at all, like for anybody.
And if you don't have like the outlets of fun, then it just makes training like not fun. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you need the money to like do something outside of the gym for once in your life.
Yeah.
And that just honestly helps training in the end. So yeah.
I mean, Riley and I talked about this too. It's like, okay, is now a good time for me to go visit Davis?
Like, I like the money's like come visit you, you know? But
but I mean, again, like that's the kind of stuff that like you could, again, there might be people out there who think like, oh, in an ideal world, you just like stay and go to the gym every day, all day, and like that's all you do throughout basically the entire year. You take 2 weeks off after whatever big event you have, and you're right back to it for the next 11 and a half months or whatever. It's like, I don't think there might have been like one or two people in CrossFit history who can do that. So
I mean, and like we're 20 too. Like we're just like fresh out of high school, like still watching people like, I don't know, party and have fun. And not that that's what we want to do, but I do think there's a balance, like
don't get burnt out.
Yeah, like if we don't, I mean, and we've seen it with so many teens lately, or like just younger athletes in general, just like pulling out of the games because they're like mentally can't do it. I don't know. Like,
you'd rather be in it for 10 years rather than 2.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And if I feel like if I don't give myself time to be a person outside of CrossFit, like it's not worth it.
Yeah, and CrossFit is one of those sports. It's not like, I don't know, like there's people who grow up and they're like NBA stars, and like they're literally like right out of high school. Yeah. And it's like that's very, very difficult to do in CrossFit, where you have to be good at so many different things. And it's like it takes really long to get good at the stuff that you're not good at in CrossFit. Whereas like basketball, the skills are just so narrow that it's like you know, if you're tall and athletic and you have all the skills, it's like at a certain point it's like you can get really good really quick. Where it's like if you're developing strength and endurance, and it's like you're doing all these different skills, and it's like you're just being stretched so many different ways. It just takes a long time to get there. So you have to be a little bit more patient in how you take it.
Sure.
Do you have a topic that you'd like to request as a future show, or just a question about training? Reach out to me. My email is ben@zorfitness.com, or you can DM me on Instagram @zorfitness. Lastly, head over to zorfitness.com if you want to browse all of our previous shows with in-depth show notes, as well as educational content for all things training. So is it fair to say that you feel like you're both pursuing making a career at competitive CrossFit?
Yeah. It's kind of hard, though. Like, I thought, like, I should probably thought about going to school while doing it on the side too. It's hard. I don't know.
So, for people who don't know, because I'm aware of this, what's hard about it?
Just both. Like, I feel like where I'm at, like, financially, I would have to do training, work, and school. Like, I couldn't, like, cut one of them out. Like, it'd be different if I could go to school and train and not have to work. And I know it's possible. People do it all the time. But it's just, like, the thought of, like, adding that in on top of it is, like, a lot. So it's like, maybe I should play it safe, go to school on top of it. But then it's like, are you going to be burnt out to the point where you can't get it anyways? So it's kind of like, school's there if I want it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's me.
What?
How do you, like... Yeah, again, do you feel that, like, that's accurate, first of all?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and for me personally, I don't see anything that I would, like... I mean, I'm sure there's something I could find to go to college for, but, like, there's nothing that really, like, sticks out to me, and everything
like
that
just as much.
Yeah, and everything that I want to do, like, you don't really need college for it, and I feel like it's just, like, everyone just goes that route because it's safe, but personally, I firmly believe you don't need college to be successful, and you can be, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, say, like, okay, your income is now being provided from your competitive CrossFit career. Like, in order to go from where you guys are at now to that point, like, what kind of steps do you think is necessary?
Like, okay, definitely social media, like, income from sponsors. Be fitter. But, like, you can get a lot of money if you have social media.
Yeah.
Like, fitness will take you to where you need to be, but some of the fittest people who don't have a good Instagram aren't getting the bills paid, which is sad.
It is sad.
Shouldn't be how it should be, but
Yeah.
it's just, like, that's just part of it.
Unless they're winning, like, big prize
Unless they're
purses.
winning big prize
And then they
purses.
probably will get the sponsors right after that.
Yeah, for sure. But, like, yeah, if you could, like, start a good Instagram, that would help, like, push it, you know what I mean? Like, get sponsors, get money. Like, or, like, even not money, just, like, things that you're paying for on the side, you know, like proteins and all your creatine and your vitamins. Like, if that was just for free, that's one less expense that you could pay me put towards, like, body work and, like, taking care of your body.
Mm-hmm.
So, either fitness or a good Instagram following.
Davis has a good TikTok.
Don't you
Shut
dare.
up.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. It's so dumb. You know what? If it gets me money one day, I would care less. Gotta do what you gotta do.
So, which of those two do you feel like is more important, the fitness or the social media, in terms of, like, making a living off competitive CrossFit?
Honestly, social media.
I feel... I think social media. Like, I wouldn't. Personally, I'd rather get my money from fitness.
Well, yeah.
But I think you can get a lot more money. I worked in the social media, like, industry for a while. Like, I worked with a supplement company. And, like, I, like, saw, like, we were paying some, like, not fit people some good money just to support the brand. So I think social media almost outweighs your fitness, for sure.
Basically, like, influence, right?
Influencer,
like,
yeah.
If you're good enough of an athlete, then you'll have, people who follow you, like, not from the social media sense, but, like, they're literally, like, keeping their eyes on you and, like, tracking you throughout the season and, like, seeing what you do. And, like, if you're someone who people respect a lot, then you're going to have more influence over, like, okay, if Riley recommends this supplement brand on her Instagram, it's like,
go and buy it.
Yeah, I'm way more likely to actually, like, take action on that, or at least, like, change how I think about that brand in my mind because, oh, Riley's endorsing this. It must be something that's quality because everything she does is, like, respectable.
Yeah.
Right? So certainly I think there's probably not, like, a right answer to that, but
For sure.
I mean, that gives us people, like, a good idea. It's like you have to probably have both.
Yeah, you do have to have both.
Yeah. Are you guys, like, dedicating time and energy towards growing social media, or is that just not really a big part of the equation right now?
I go in waves for me.
Yeah, I feel like I do too.
I feel like I go in waves. Mm-hmm.
Why?
It takes a lot of energy, and if you don't have it, like, if you're putting it more into training, then, it's just...
And the other thing is, we've talked about this before, but I feel like like, if I don't feel great about myself or, like,
Oh,
I just, like, feel
you
not
don't-
very fit,
Mm-hmm.
things didn't go well that day, or just, like, in general, I'm just, like,
I have a
not...
hard time posting.
Yeah,
That's how I feel
it's
like
just-
right now. Like, I'm slightly injured, and so, like, I'm not doing... Like, if I post a picture of me lifting, I'm not even lifting right now. I just feel fake. Like oh, it's just a picture. Why does it matter? But it doesn't feel, like, real to me. Or, like, it's not something I want to post, if that makes sense, I guess. So then it's hard. Like, or you don't have content to post because I'm not doing the things I normally do to share. So it's hard. So that plays factor. And then, like, yeah, if it's, like... It takes time to edit videos, sit down. I'm sure you spend a lot of time doing it and, like, putting clips together. And then it's, like... Last thing you want to do is kind of just, like, crawl in bed sometimes. But... I don't know. Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, it's probably just, like, not really worth it. Like, at least at sometimes.
Sometimes it's not. It definitely is. Like, I would like to just do it no matter what I feel like. Like, oh, you don't want to do it? Do it anyways. But it's not always
And
like
usually
that.
we would, like, have a training session, and then we'd go home.
And we'd literally sit down and be
lay
like,
in bed and just be,
content.
like, quiet for, like, 30
you're like,
minutes,
you
just,
gotta
like,
post
posting
it.
stories and,
But it
like,
does take time.
reels. It
Like, you
takes a lot
think,
of
like,
time.
it would just be, like, easy, but, like, I don't know why it takes a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. I
But
would
then
like it to
also,
be as much of it.
I, like, nitpick myself, too. Ben knows this. I, like,
You
I'll watch a
overthink
video,
things.
and I'll be like, I don't like this about it, I don't like this, I don't like this, and then I just, like, goes in the trash.
Yeah.
And it was, like, a good video,
Uh-huh.
but I won't post it
Yeah.
because...
I've gotten better at that, just, like, posting it anyways.
Yeah.
Content's content. And I feel like I've helped you with that. Like,
you have, but...
you still get, like, insecure
Yeah.
about things.
Ben gets mad at me because I won't accept his
Yeah.
collaboration.
Hey, I always tell her to accept it. You're welcome. Said you look fine.
Yeah, but, I mean, do you feel like people who are maybe more mature athletes or... So, for example, I've heard Ariel Lowen talk about this. She's like, I think she said this on, like, Talking Elite Fitness, but she was like, I view, like, my Instagram as basically, like, a, you know, business opportunity. That wasn't verbatim, but basically, like, that was what she said was, like, I view this as, like, a way for me to, you know, basically grow influence, be able to, you know, work with sponsors, like, you know, it's basically a game versus, like, it being, like, who you are sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of the younger athletes, like Riley was mentioning, who get, like, you know, like it can be really easy to, like, fall into, like, that mental trap of, like, tying up your self-worth into social media.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you separate those two is, I guess, what I'm asking.
That's hard. I think you just have to, like, get good at it, like, practice, too. Like, doing it anyways and getting over what people think about you. I think it's just, like, the biggest thing. People are going to talk no matter what you do. So if you're like what you post... I think, yeah, posting what you like, too, that you're proud of, too, makes a big difference. And then if people say anything, it doesn't really matter because you like it. That makes sense? Kind of thing? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Riley, do you feel like you're able to separate those two out?
Like,
Or is that why it's challenging? Is because you have a really hard time doing that?
like separating...
Yeah, like your own person versus, like, this is just, like, a tool for me to help grow, like, my
I like
my brand.
I feel like I like to mix it. Like, I also want there to be, like, parts of my life on it that are outside of CrossFit. Like, I like to just, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I stop, like you said, when I stop caring, like, about what people think, it's actually fun. Like, I think social media
it can be fun if you don't care.
It can be, yeah, it's really fun. If you just stop caring what people think, and, like you said, posting what you like, and, yeah. But it's not always that easy.
Yeah. So, in other words, like, sometimes you just get kind of pulled back into it in terms of, like, emotionally.
Yeah, I think it depends. For me, I feel like it depends where I am mentally. Like, if I'm not doing super well mentally, I don't really want to post.
Uh-huh.
But
I think the best people who have the best accounts with the best followers, it's not just, like, what you post. I think if you brand yourself as a person, honestly, it's better than what you do in the gym. Like, if people like you for, like, who you are.
Yeah.
And just, like... Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily have to be, like you said, you don't want it to be just CrossFit. It doesn't have to be. It can be, like, your life outside of it. It's just who you are as a person.
because people like to see that, too.
People like to see it. Like, I like to see what people are doing outside of, like, the
Yeah.
gym, too. Like, what you do for fun. Yeah.
Mm. Have either of you had, like, companies reach out and try to sponsor you?
I was going to say...
I've gotten free things, but not like a
money.
return. Like, no money, free
Yeah.
things. And, like, occasionally I get, like, some of, like like they send it again and again, but usually not really. It's like, oh,
Like
try
a
it,
one-time.
post it, and then nothing
Yeah,
else.
like nothing worth it.
Nothing
like,
worth it. Like it's
I don't want
cool.
to just hop on, like, you know, like you see like people just because they think it looks cool, like they just
Yeah.
get
Oh, the
random
ambassador,
brands. Of,
yeah.
it's
Okay,
like-
guys, code Riley10.
Riley Ted.
Watt and done.
Oh my gosh.
What and done is how you just put the thumb tape. Is that one?
No shade.
Hey, if you're getting free thumb tape, I'll take free thumb tape because that stuff actually gets expensive.
Anyways.
Anyways.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So funny though. But yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people just assume that you guys have a lot of people.
Oh, no.
Companies reaching out.
Definitely
No.
not. No.
Nothing worth it. Like, there's definitely a lot of, like, random little, like,
Mm-hmm.
things, or they'll send you free stuff, or they'll, like, ask for your address. You can, like, send you something that you can try and post on your Instagram, or just, like, discount codes, but nothing that's, like, oh, I
Legit
actually
or like
wanna-
money
yeah.
income wise. Yeah, for sure. No, not
Mm-hmm.
yet. One day.
Yeah. So like, how do you feel like you balance the way that you currently make money with like, okay, I got to continue to do that, but then also like trying to pursue making money through CrossFit and the other avenues that you have available there, like practically day to day, like, is that stuff you think about, or are you trying to just like get as good as you can at CrossFit?
For me personally, like, I have to think of like work first. Like, the only way I'm gonna be able to do CrossFit is if I get my work done and like I get an income so I can pay rent, pay my bills.
That almost like comes first.
Yeah, it comes first.
Like you have to check that
yeah,
off,
like
and
I
then
would
you get to do the
love for
other stuff.
CrossFit to come first, but like
Yeah.
it's just not realistic. I can't just like the only way I can CrossFit is if I pay my bills. So like work comes first for me.
Yeah.
Because that allows me to do CrossFit. That's
Right.
me.
I think yours is a little bit different.
Yeah, we're in different situations.
Yeah.
So like,
It's just, I kind of, like, right now, I look at it more as, like, I don't know, I just have to get, like, it's something I just have to do. Unfortunately, like, I want to like my job, and I want to, hopefully I find something that I like better, but for, like, the past year, it's more been, like, I just have to do this, I have to get through it to, like, make
do what
money.
you want to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you like your job,
I
like,
my job.
this has just not been the case for me.
Yeah.
Which can be draining. So yeah, for me it's more like this is just a hustle. Like I'll
Yeah.
be there like I should be in bed. I should have like, yeah, like I don't eat for like 6 hours straight and then I get to bed late.
But it's just what you got to do.
It's just what I got to do. Like I just look at it as like it's gonna be a hustle for a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's just what it is.
Mhm.
Like I would get to the gym at like 8 a.m. and still struggle to be done by like.
Isn't it crazy how long
It's
it can take?
crazy because like I'll get to the gym at 8 and then I struggle to finish by like 3 so that I can get to work at like 3:45, 4.
That's why I love morning shifts work. I work and then I literally done and then I can just the rest of the day is like training. I don't have to like.
Yeah, that's nice.
I prefer that. I would rather get the work done and then.
You can like mentally separate it.
Yeah, mentally separated. Like
Be,
I don't
like,
have to be
running
like
around
yeah,
at, like,
because I do
9:30.
one day that I work evenings and I hate it because it's like you're rushing.
Yeah.
Rushing. Like gotta get done, gotta get in, and then you want it to be quality. You don't want to
Yeah.
rush it too.
Yeah, and then it's also like in Riley's boat, or maybe like you if you're working evens, then it's like, it's also like you're not holding back, but you also know that there's gonna be like that energy expenditure later in the night, so you're like kind of like dreading, at least in Riley's case, she's like kind of dreading going into work later because knowing that it's gonna be basically detracting from your goals essentially. Besides the fact that it like makes you money, besides that, it's like there's
Yeah.
really no
Yeah.
benefit there.
Well,
So-
then like Saturday mornings, like you always have my, like I hate it because I want to come in and like lift with you guys, but I like, you give me I need the sleep, so you give me like an extra hour to get to the gym. Like you start my Saturdays a little bit later, just because like Friday nights I typically work kind of late, so yeah, it's just like, and then I still wake up and I'm like exhausted from
Yeah.
the night before, so
It's hard.
it's not ideal, but
Yeah, but I think like, again, for almost everybody who's doing this, it's like you got to check off the way that you make money, and then that might not be something that's actually fulfilling at some
Yeah.
point. Hopefully it is, right? But then again, it's like if you're not getting paid from that, then it's like that's what you do. And even for the people who do have sponsorships and stuff, unless they're handing their phone to somebody else, it's just like completely ignoring it, and like someone else is logged in their account and they do all of it, and it's like I think that does happen at, for perennial games athletes, but there's a lot of people who still enjoy that and are like that's part of their thing, and like it's just part of their
part of their
day to
work.
day.
They have to make the posts by like
Yeah.
a certain time. Yeah.
Right. They're like, hey, I have to make these posts on these days and, tag these people and do all that stuff. And, like, that's just part of it. And that's still, like, an output, I think, for a lot of the athletes because I don't think they necessarily want to be doing that. It's more just like, this is the way I make money, so this is the thing I have to do to check off.
Yeah.
So I think that's the same for a lot of professional athletes as it is for you guys. It's just, like, shifts as to, like, what it actually is. So.
For sure.
Yeah. What are your guys' Instagrams, by the way?
Riley_Stoltzfus.
Ooh. Don't know how to spell that. You're not going to be able to find them. Davis R. Merrill. Go follow.
Nice. Perfect.
Put a little.
Yeah, put it up on the screen for everyone.
Little burst. Perfect. Well, let's end with this. Let's say we have teen girls listening. All three of them.
All three of them.
Maybe we have a half dozen. I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
Little teen girls listening.
Little teen girls.
That are into CrossFit, right? And they're like looking up to you guys and obviously like a lot of the other, CrossFit athletes. It's like, what advice would you have for somebody like that? Like, say they're like, again, they have your goals where it's like, hey, I would love to be a CrossFit Games athlete one day, right? Again, you guys are closer than they are now. But like, just like imagine that like you're basically talking to like the younger version of you. Like, would you have any advice for you of like how to navigate the world going forward in terms of like the CrossFit landscape?
I mean, the biggest thing I would tell myself is like stop caring what people think because I feel like that holds you back so much in so many aspects. And it's easy to get wrapped up in general, but especially when you're like a teen girl. You think about what people think a lot too much. So
I would say make sure you love it. Make sure you're having fun. That's my biggest thing. It's easy for me to come into the gym because I love it. Like, I'm having fun. But the second you don't love it, or you, like, burn yourself out.
Yeah.
So, just have fun with it. Change it up. Change up who you work out with. Find a good group of people to push you, too. I think that's good.
Have you gotten to the point where you don't love it?
I don't think so. I think I still love it. I think after semis, I was, like, a little, like,
Yeah, so I mean, like, have you lost that at all? Like, not that it hasn't come back, but, like, did you go through periods where you were not loving it?
honestly, no. I think I've just loved it, and I think that's what's, like, keeps me coming back. Like, I've watched people around me who I just know that don't love it, and I'm just like, ooh. Like, if I got to that point, I would back off before I think I would push over it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Backpedal before you, like, go too far.
You enjoying things, Riley?
I am now. I feel like I have gotten to the point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I didn't love it, but I have gotten really close to, like, yeah.
Just total burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it also, like, has to do with a lot of other things that are going on in your life.
It's fair.
And then, like, yeah, training on top of it, if you're not careful, for me, I can be a head case. So I've definitely gotten pretty close. But right now, I do love it. And I think the way my mentality is a lot healthier, and the way I'm going about it is a lot healthier. So, yeah.
Is there anything that you feel like kind of pulled you back from the edge when you were, like, burnout or just, like, not in a good headspace?
It just takes time. Like, if you have to take a break, take a break. Yeah.
Luckily, you're super good at that.
Just, let me buy a ticket to Utah real fast. That's her break.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, though, like, you're not the type of person who's just going to be like, oh, like, I'm a little tired and, you know, not, like, 100%, like, emotionally into my training right now. It's like, you're not, like, your first thought is not like, oh, let's step back.
Step back.
No.
That's hard. Like, yeah, it's the balance. Like, sometimes you just can't step back. Like, you just got to know when to, like, push through it. But
Yeah,
there's other times.
It is hard
It's
to
a
know.
balance.
It
Because you're
is
like, I don't
definitely
know if
hard to
I'm
know.
being a baby or if
Yeah.
I actually need to stop. And that's hard, like, having those.
But it's true, like, it's never a thought to not come to the gym or, like, oh, I don't feel good, like, I'm just not going to do it. I'm always going to do it. Even if I get, like, nothing out of it and it was completely pointless, I want to check the box, so I do it.
Yeah.
So, like, it can be hard. There's pros and cons to that, but I'm not somebody that'll ever just, like, I'm just not going to do it because I don't feel good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Go team.
Thanks for listening today. If you're someone who just started listening to the show, I would encourage you to subscribe so you can stay up to date. If you're someone who's been listening for a while, I would encourage you to rate and review the show. And lastly, the best thing that you can do to support our work is also the best thing that you can do for your performance. And that is by hiring one of our coaches. Until next time, stay the course.